As a kid, I loved Flash games. They were super easy to access on the family computer. You didn't have to download anything, and they were free. But let's be real and let's be honest. Flash games are weird as shit. That's not to say all Flash games are weird, or that weird even means bad, but you have to admit, Flash games have an unmistakable oddness and charm to them that just oozes all around. Sometimes that charm leads to the creation of things like Ebola, or this fully fleshed out game where Barack Obama has to save his family from Albert Wesker because he's got him held in these tubes. Certified bangers, classics, I know. And other times you just get this old run-of-the-mill Courage the Cowardly Dog game, you know, advertising for that new episode of Courage you plan on CartoonNetwork.com. And it was these games on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network that kind of got me wondering, how successful were Flash games in really advertising for TV shows and movies and things like that? I mean, for kids, obviously they make sense, kids like video games, but what about things that aren't exactly made for kids? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Horror movies. I'm talking about horror movies, you silly little bitch. Yeah. And I'm not talking about the Will Smith I Am Legend, you know, river jump game that your next door neighbor Bobby made in half an hour. I'm talking about 100% genuine, sanctioned, for the movie, advertisement video game. Released directly onto the web for real. Let's check some out.
What are you two doing?
First up, we have Shaun of the Dead's Don't Mess With My Pint, a game where you play as British people and say funny British things like, "Can you please turn that noise down?" The point of the game is to throw shit at zombies that you find from behind the bar until you inevitably get swarmed by the zombies and die. The game has a couple variations of things you can throw, like darts, you got some vinyls, pints, beers, things like that. You can also use the Winchester, but it only has a limited number of shots, and the game gets kind of tough later on, so you gotta use it wisely. Other than that, the game is pretty simple. There was this phone that kept ringing the whole time, and I couldn't actually answer it, or manually switch any of the weapons. They just kind of changed around, so you know, that was weird. Shaun of the Dead also had another one simply called Shaun of the Dead, where you run through the city with records and cricket bats, things like that, smacking zombies in the head on your way to the Winchester, supposedly to set up the setting of Don't Touch My Pint. This one I used to play as a kid, and it is real bare bones. You literally just run to the end of the level, you drink a nice cold pint, and you get a different thing to smack zombies in the head with until it eventually just ends. So, let's move on. Prom Night, A Night to Die For, takes place in a hotel room where a serial killer, now turned Shadow Realm monster, chases you through the hallways of a completely empty hotel. This game sucks, and I hate it. Okay, well, that might be too much, but the game is really boring. You just follow the exit signs in the hallways until you find the exit door, you open it, and it takes you to another menu where you do the exact same thing. I mean, I guess it gets the point across. There are hotels and walking in Prom Night. But besides that, I mean, I guess the level changes a little bit. They add some plastic, but you know, I don't know, dude. Doesn't really make me want to watch Prom Night. Next up, we have The Descent, a point-and-click adventure game that really has a lot of cool ideas, and all of them were executed horribly. It appears to have been made as a type of sweepstakes to win a digital camcorder. Ooh la la. The game is very environmentally based, where your mouse controls a flashlight that you shine around, and these letters jerk around on the screen to let you know if there's anything to pick up. The objective of the game is to find a way out through the cave system, which is all fine and dandy. You know, searching the game through that perspective is fine, but everything looks so similar. I mean, look at this. It looks exactly the same. It's so hard to find the next entrance to go deeper into the cave. Like, genuinely, I played this game 3 or 4 different times because my recording kept getting corrupted, and I still have not been able to find the ending. I guess that's sort of the point for the sweepstakes, but, you know, it made the game way more frustrating than fun to play. Needless to say, I'm probably not winning that digital camcorder. Hostel: The Killing Floor is short and sweet. It's pretty atmospheric with screams and chainsaws in the background. There's even a couple of Gibbs laying around. I mean, it's pretty spooky. The objective is to find these people tied up with bags on their head, untie them, and let them slow moonwalk out of the room. You're trying to save these guys before the butcher gets his hands on them, so you better be quick. And if you're not careful, you can actually bump into them and see them cutting people up. It's pretty good. I recommend 2 thumbs up. Will watch Hostel. If you're craving some more, then ooh boy, I got some good news for you. That's right, they made a sequel that's more or less just the first one with a couple slight improvements to it. You basically use this map to find the rooms where they're being tortured at, and you take this monkey wrench and you just whack these guys upside the head. Thank you. Other than that, there's a few executioners wandering around that you gotta beat the shit out of with the wrench. You gotta be careful though, because if you don't take care of them while you're trying to save someone, they can actually knock you out. So that's, pretty cool. So yeah, overall, pretty good game. Much like the first one, Hostel 2 is a good movie. And this game would have made me want to watch it. Kind of want to watch it now. Next, Dawn of the Dead Blackout, a somehow even more bare bones version of Don't Mess With My Pint. This one is real simple. You have a gun, they're gonna come at you in the dark to a fence, and you're gonna shoot them until you get bored and you let them kill you. But that's quite literally it. There's nothing else to it. So yeah, enjoy it for a couple seconds, because I'm moving on quick here. There's also Dawn of the Dead, another Dawn of the Dead game that is also pretty simple in nature, but I feel like this one works a little bit better. There is a random generated number that you're not sure what it is, and you have to type it in on this keypad while zombies break down the wooden barrier set up in the mall. If you don't get it, they kill you, and if you get it, the shutter falls down and the game ends. I'm pretty sure it's just a promotion for the movie, because there's really not much else to it, but it was pretty good. It got intense at times. The Hills Have Eyes, Run for the Hills is very much in the same vein as Hostel 1 and 2, in that you are in a setting, you are trying to collect things, and you are trying to leave. But instead of collecting people this time, you're just collecting points, and you're just trying to find the exit while mutants attack you on your way out. This game is a little janky and kind of funky, and you'd be pretty easily confused that these are zombies instead of the mutants from the movie. But, that's not a huge deal, I guess. The game is kind of whatever. It's pretty forgettable, honestly. And I don't know if it would have made me want to go watch the movie. There was a sweepstakes at the end that I tried to click on, but it didn't do anything. So we're going to move on to The Hills Have Eyes 2 Mutant Massacre. This game is pretty much like the first game, except for you're not allowed to move anymore. You still have an unlimited gun, and there's still unlimited waves of enemies for you to shoot, so you're just gonna have a grand old time. This one, I would say, is maybe slightly better. At least this one, you can tell those are mutants rather than just zombies. But other than that, there's really nothing to it. And there's no sweepstakes, so, we're gonna move on. Final Destination 5 website. This one kind of breaks the rules because it's not a game, but it's an interactive website, so I thought I'd count it in there anyway. The website's pretty cool. It starts off with an immediate trailer of the movie that you can skip on the top, but it has a lot of cool features on it too, like the synopsis page that has the cast, filmmakers, and production notes on it, these theatrical and teaser trailers for the movie's release, this digital photo book where you can flip through different scenes of the movie, and if you're real cool, there's some wallpapers and buddy icons you can download for free. Yeah, that's right. Ultimately, I think this is probably the better route to go if you're trying to promote your movie, with just a website that's about the movie, because it was actually pretty well done, and I read a lot of it and spent a lot of time exploring it. So, pretty good. Final Destination 5, probably better than the movie. Moving on to another interactive website, albeit this one with a bit more gamey elements to it, we have Exorcist: The Beginning. This one's actually pretty solid for the most part. It starts off with a point-and-click adventure game that leads you to the unlockable website at the end that gives you some more detail about the movie. It's still a wee bit janky, and oftentimes I had no, goddamn idea what to do. I just sort of was clicking the screen around to get to the next segment. but it was still a cool concept and I had fun exploring it. The point and click aspect of it is kind of confusing, and it feels like it gets more confusing as the game goes on. Like right here, I'm just kind of clicking things and things are just popping up, and then in a minute some dude's face like shoots at the screen. I don't know what's going on, man. At the end of the games, you're able to click in the symbols you find, I guess somewhere in the pictures coming up, and it takes you to the website. And the website's actually pretty detailed and really easy to get around too. I mean, same old, same old. You got the story, you got some trailers, you get some photos, and some more downloadable content. Overall, had a really good time exploring the website, and I'm telling you, movie-themed websites, that's the way to go. The shitty little Flash games, they're not convincing me. But, you know, there's time. Exorcist the Beginning also had this difference Flash game, where nothing actually happens. You just kind of look at the two and spot the differences on them. It's pretty It's pretty...
Oh my god, it's a screamer. Oh my god, who could have seen that one coming? Oh!
I like that's kind of an homage to the Reagan Screamer one, but I mean, it's pretty obvious it's a screamer. It says, turn up the volume, you may hear the answer. So like...
What?
And since we're doing the interactive pages, I'm just going to go ahead and get the last one out of the way. It's Fear the Walking Dead website. Pretty similar to the rest. It has some videos, some photos, a cool little character synopsis, as well as some information about their actors, and kind of the point of the show, because when it came out, it was kind of confusing of what it was about. But, you know, really well-made website, but, you know, not really all that interesting compared to the rest. And now that we're on The Walking Dead, let's go ahead and talk about The Walking Dead Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning is a decision and dialogue-based action game starring everyone's favorite meme, Shane.
Who's that? Who's that?
This one's actually really awesome, and I was a big fan of it when I was a kid because I loved The Walking Dead a lot. And it actually turned me on to the Telltale Games Walking Dead game, so, you know, it's kind of funny. And like the Telltale games, all decisions that you make throughout lead to a unique ending. And I believe there's 3 episodes, that might be wrong, so it gives you a good excuse to come back and replay it. It's a nice clash breed of the comic books and the TV show. And Shane was one of my favorite characters around this season, so it was just a really cool collaboration between the two, and it really hyped up the new season of the show really well. So overall, I think it's probably one of the best Flash games of the list so far. But honestly, I'm probably being a little nostalgic with that. To wrap up The Walking Dead, here's another one called Survival Test. I played it a lot as a kid. This one isn't really a game, more so as just to see which character you are, so they ask you 7 different questions, you answer how you see fit, and then you get a character. Real simple. I'm not even sure if this one was made by AMC. I think it was, though. It's I guess. I mean, it's just a character quiz. It's got these cool little animations in between it. But I want to say it's worse because I spent all this time recording and doing the test a couple of different times, and I ended up getting Andrea, which felt like a slap and spit in my face and mouth for my effort to make this video. So we're moving on. Quick heads up, the rest of the games are all zombie games. I didn't mean to set it up like that, but you know, what are you gonna do? Land of the Dead has Loot and Shoot. A game where you loot and shoot things. It's basically the Hills Have Eyes game, the first one, but you have a couple new advancements in this one, like a clear objective of items to grab and bullets, so you can't just spray everything. I'm sorry. And also, like the Hills Have Eyes game, it is kind of boring and sort of sucks, and I lost interest in playing it. I'm sorry. I like the movie though. Resident Evil Apocalypse. This one's weird. It's kind of like if Snake was you didn't get larger, and it just actually it's nothing like Snake. Ignore that I said that. It's an endless wave game where zombies just keep coming at you over and over, and you're supposed to pick up weapons and fight them back and just see how long you can survive for, so you can submit your score to the scoreboard. I found this one ridiculously difficult, but really fun to play. I actually played it way more than I think I should have, and way more than I included in this video. But yeah, it was surprisingly addictive, but hard as shit, dude. I hate even watching the footage of it because of how mad I got. Next, Zombieland, Nut Up or Shut Up. Another silly one that was also actually a lot of fun to play as well. Point of the game is to swing different kinds of balls, baseballs, bowling balls, all those kinds of balls, into an endless wave of zombies to earn some money to upgrade your gear to kill more zombies with. It's simple, it's addictive, and it's pretty darn good. And finally, we have 28 weeks later, a Japanese, I believe, game that is so goddamn weird. The point of the game is just to run left and right and infect the entire map before the round ends and you go to the next. The thing is, the same audio clip of this guy like screeching keeps playing the whole time, and it'll just play non-stop. That paired with the weird jank-ass animations just makes for a really just funny experience. I mean, just listen to this. Perfection. Quick honorable mention to The Grudge 2. I couldn't actually get it working, but you know, it was there, so it gets a couple pity points. And there we have as many advertisement horror-based flash games I could find for TV and movies. I guarantee there are a ton that exist that I couldn't find. Like, I know when I was a kid for sure there was a couple Scream ones, but I wasn't able to find them to get footage for it, so you're just gonna have to trust me on that. And did I learn anything about advertisement using flash games, especially towards an adult audience? Well, being an adult man myself, no, I wouldn't see these movies based on the flash games. Well, I guess it depends. Most of them, no, because I wouldn't have taken the time to even play them to start with. Even the websites I said earlier that were better, I still don't think I would have taken the time to actually like explore unless it was something I was really excited about. But in general, I can see why they don't really do a lot of things like this anymore, because, you know, it's weird. Okay, bye.